So I got another very small flashlight from Philips. That's absolutely tiny, and as you can see, it's probably the size of my finger or even less. So it's very light, and also it's made of very premium materials, and it appears very solid indeed. And you can hang it somewhere. I have added some loop here, so I don't lose it, because it's so tiny and you can lose it very easily. This is packaging, yeah. So it's covered in the Chinese stickers, but you can see the functions here of it and any specs that you can read. So anyway, once you press this button, it turns on the low mode. Basically, it's not actually low, but like a medium mode, I would say. And when you click once more, you can turn it on the high beam. And when you click third time, it enables this strobe mode. So, and also when you don't use it flashlight for around 3 seconds, I'll show you a bit. So let's wait a bit, and when you click it, then it simply turns off. Also, you can quickly launch that full high beam by simply holding this power button, and it turns on. As you release it, it turns off basically. So very handy actually. And the light, the way it turns on is like a gradual increase and also gradual decrease, so kind of cool. One thing that I don't really like about the flashlight is the beam is very concentrated of this flashlight. When you compare to another Philips flashlight, this is a bit bigger, but still a very small one. And when you search for this flashlight, you will also see this flashlight. The model number of this one is SFL1126, and this is even a cheaper flashlight than this one. But I prefer the light of this because it's much wider beam, obviously, on this flashlight. Also, the light quality of this is a bit brighter as well, and yeah, it's more quality light, I would say. This is a cheaper flashlight, but it has got better light and also more light output. When you check the specs on the AliExpress and other Chinese websites, it says this has got 500 lumens and this has got 300 lumens, but I don't think this has got 500 lumens. From my experience, I think it has around 200 lumens, and this is definitely accurate at 300 lumens, and yeah, I think this is around 200 lumens. So yeah, it's not as bright as advertised, but still it's pretty bright, and you can see very far with it because the light beam is so concentrated on it. I will show you a sample later. Also, when you double click this, so when you double click, you can switch on these side modes. So you've got a side light, which is very low mode, a red one, flashing red, flashing like a blue one, and flashing between those. So, and actually this side light is actually fairly good, and I think it can last for like several days on this side light, and the brightness is actually fairly good. You can't see that well because it's very bright at this moment, so, but in reality this is a very good light here. Also, you can charge it using a Type-C charger. It does come with a lead in the box. I have misplaced it somewhere mine, but it comes with a short lead that you can use to charge this. So very nice as well. And yeah, I really like the build quality of this thing. It feels like super premium. And when you compare to this one, this feels like kind of cheap, but this one feels very premium, very well finished. However, I still prefer this old one. I have had this for around a half a year and I'm using it daily, and I wanted to upgrade to a bit smaller, and I thought this will be brighter, but it's not brighter. This one, this cheap one, is brighter than this one, and I still prefer the light beam and light quality of this one, so I will keep using this old one. Maybe give this new one to someone else. Yeah, the size is nice and you can use it as a keychain, and it's very nice and compact, but I prefer the light output of this one, and it's not that much bigger as well. So yeah, that's what they look like. By the way, they don't come with these straps, I have just added them here. Anyway, let's check out the brightness now. So this is the brightness on the lowest mode, and as you can see, you can still see everything very well, and on this mode it lasts for absolute ages. And yeah, the brightness is still insanely good, and considering it can last for so long, yeah, this is insane. And this is the brightness on the high beam. So you see way better, as you can see everything much more. And I can simply press and hold this. When I release, it starts to go out. And this is that picture, yeah, that I told about. And yeah, it's very useful. So when you are done with your stuff, you can simply release and it will turn off. Okay, so the low mode. Let's go outside. You can walk easily with this low mode and still see everything very well. Okay, let's turn on the height, and with the high, yeah. So this is the high, and you can see very far with it, and the brightness also is very decent. As you can see very far with it, and considering it's so tiny, the low light output is insanely nice. Okay, let's switch to the low mode. Still with low mode, it's fairly usable as well. Okay, also a strobe, and then also this thing which is UV blue light. Also you can switch to the side light. So this is the brightness of it. Still fairly usable. And on this mode I think it lasts for at least several days. So very nice. Okay. Then also a red mode like this. Flashing red mode. Blue. Flashing. And that's it. Okay, and this is another Philips mini flashlight. As you see, the beam angle is way wider. Okay, and this is a mini one. As you see, it's much narrower. Okay, much better here. Okay, so see, very wide. Whereas this one is very concentrated. Personally, I prefer this one much more. As you can see, so much more with this. And yeah, this is a better one for sure.